Alright, I'm back from vacation. I got the obligatory hat, I got the obligatory t-shirt, and I'm all excited and ready to go. Try and go to a different direction. I've got these old centerboard pieces I cut out of my centerboard, and I'm going to try and make something from them. So watch and see what I make. First thing I got to do is get the shop cleaned up. I've got a mess. After working on that boat and that trailer, I just threw everything down here, and it's a disaster. So we're going to first clean the shop and get a nice fresh start. And then I'm going to build something out of those two pieces of centerboard. And we'll go from there. So let's get this place cleaned up. That's clean. It's hard enough working in a small shop when it's clean. It's twice as hard when it's messy. So we got a clean shop. I'm going to try and make some letter holders for my wife to solve a little bit of a problem. I'm going to make it out of these, I think. I'm not sure if I can plane them or not. They're not a flat board. But it's mahogany made from the boat. So we'll see what we can do. I'll try and run it through a planer and see if I can come up with a couple pieces of wood to make a letter holder for my wife. Alright, I run a Delta planer and I set it up on my workmate outside. If I do it inside, it doesn't do anything but clog up the dust collector and fill the bag up real fast. So I wait for a nice day and I set it up outside, and it runs fine. And I'm going to plane these two boards and see what I get out of them. The end of them is tapered, so I'm going to hope it runs out flat and I can get something that I can use for my project. So I'm just going to run the planer a little bit and see what I get out of these two pieces of scrap wood. Alright, that's what we got. Didn't get much here. Bad spots, but we're going to get it to size. Now, I didn't want to go down that thin. I wanted to go to 3/8, but that's what we got. Now we'll make some boards. I got a little split going there, so I'm going to have to trash most of that. I just want to make something out of these old center boards. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll machine these and see what kind of wood we got. Run them through the sander. Alright, I want to make a letter holder. I got a letter here. And it looks like the lowest point I have is here. And I think that's high enough to hold the letter right there. Which makes it 2.5 inches. So if I cut 2.5 inch strips out of this, and then I'll work on the length. I think I want the length. That measures 9.5, maybe 10 1/4 long. And then as far as width goes, I was thinking to make it like 4 inches inside. We need a big one. My wife lets them bills stack up. I think 4 inches would be great. So what we've got we need 10 inside dimensions. 10 inches height, .5 width, 4 inches, and that's going to be inside dimensions. So when I get done, I'm going to try and make this instead of 2.5, making it 3 1/4. That'll take me up into this, but I should be okay. So let's rip up some 3 1/4 inch board. Rip these off at 3 1/4. I wanted to make 2, but I just don't think I'm going to have enough wood to make 2. You'd be surprised how much this eats up the wood just making these little projects. So let's cut that off at 2 3/4 and give it a sand. Quick sanding on the sander. Then we'll cut the length for 10 inches, the width for 4 inches, and then I got a little bit of something special I want to do. So let's get that cut up and see what I end up with, how much strips of lumber I end up with. Put a 0 clearance in there. Make it a little bit higher than the board, not too much. Put my guard in. I like to use the guard whenever I can. This is the most dangerous piece of equipment you'll run just because you use it so much. So I like to run it with the guard. Two 2 3/4. We'll make it. Away we go. I've got those pieces cut, 4 of each. 2 sides and front and the back. Alright, I've got a drill bit that measures about half of the thickness of that board. So that's what I want it to stick up at. I want to go on the high side of that tooth and get that to stick up a half the same as that drill bit. Get your tooth at the high spot, tighten that up. Then I want to set the far edge of the blade to the thickness of the board, make sure it's straight. Check that. Take a piece of scrap and let's see how it comes out. Fence closer and get them all again. One of the problems with doing your rabbets with that circular saw blade is you don't get a flat cut. I just didn't feel like putting the dado blade in, so I'll just kind of clean it up with a chisel a little bit. I don't know if you figured it out yet, but I'm not a real perfectionist. Maybe you'll take the idea from me and make something better. If you do, let me know. Just an easy project. Kind of fun. Made from scrap. I got to get rid of some of this wood before I buy more. It's starting to... I got too much. So I'll clean these up and we'll go from there. Alright, there's my 2 letter boxes. And I want to make something a little bit special about them. I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. But I've got an idea. And that's enough to get me started. I'll set up 2 clamps here. And my idea is to take 2 pieces of wood and glue them on the back of each one, then decide later some kind of a design. So I think it's going to be this one. And this one. So I'll glue them on the center. Then we'll cut out some kind of a design tomorrow morning and let them set overnight. I'll think about what I'm going to put on there. I'm thinking of an anchor or a heart or one of each. And we'll be on our way. So I'll glue these up and we'll leave these set overnight and see how they come out. Well, this is how I left them at the end of the day. I think I'm going to make this into 2 parts. I was going to try and squeeze it into one, but it's just getting a little bit too long. So at the end of the day, I've got them glued up. And tomorrow we'll finish this up. So I hope you enjoyed making this. And hope you'll subscribe if you like it. And I'm going to make more stuff after this. So just if you make something like this, let me know. Or if you have any other ideas of things to make, I'd like to make some other stuff. So just stay tuned for part